Alrighty, welcome to the very first game of Auric League Season 3, and we are starting off with what should be a very fun watch. Night Owls against Retribution. We have Winter Edit starting off, representing Night Owls on the Cenobite, trying to get the season off to a flying start, but obviously both these teams are going to equally want that. It is all to play for at this point, and getting the box very early, so always loving to see that. Winter clearly has been practicing Cenobite, knows the spawns as they are somewhat predictable, and Winter has been able to predict it perfectly and will be initiating this first chase with Chain Hunt active. But can he make the most of it? Gets the tag there. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it right to the pallet. I don't think they are, and that is the first tag coming through already onto Sim Silly as they rush all the way over to the shack. Get that down. That should be some nice distance. But still, that Chain Hunt getting some good value early on. Early game for Cenobite is a very important phase of the game. Hopefully we're going to be able to see a bit more from Sim Silly. Now doesn't have to deal with Chain Hunt. Only chains are the ones Winter is sending, but has somewhat cornered himself a little bit. And I don't think he's going to be able to make anywhere from that pallet, and won't. So will just be going down at the edge of the map. Looking around on the generators, I mean, there's not an ideal amount of pressure, but it is better than nothing at least. But Winter, I'm sure, will be happy with that start. Does have Scourge Hook Pain Resonance in play. Of course, a very meta perk, no surprises there. But didn't actually use the Scourge Hook on that hook, so maybe saving it for later, maybe couldn't reach it. Who knows, but either way, pressure a little bit nicer than what it potentially could have been. Right now, Winter seemingly just holding the crosses. I believe he's assuming everyone's at the bottom side and can kind of hold them there. And just try minimize as much gem progress as possible while trying to force that second stage onto Sim. And so far, doesn't seem to be any threats onto the hook. That gem popping over in the distance, unable to get the chain onto it, unfortunately. And the second one popping actually, so gen progress is going at a respectful rate so far from Retribution. Although it does seem like Sim will be going to the second stage. They might be trying to come in to pressure it. Looks like they actually are. Time is definitely not on their side, but they're still going to try it anyway, going in for what seems to be a double save. And actually, they get it off completely tag free as Winter hits Sim instead of the survivor unhooking. So not an ideal scenario at all from Winter there, but now the tunnel out chase is on, so it can be brought back within seconds as Sim going for the second run of the game, supported by Scraley as well. And now Retribution are in a pretty decent situation, especially if they can keep this chase going. And tag there, bought as much time as possible for Sim. Gonna try and make it to this other tile. This gets chained though, it's a very nice prediction, and will not make it to it. So, I mean, it was a pretty good second chase, but taking 3 tags in the span of that. But still, they did get a gen while all that chaos was ensuing. So, I mean, we will see. No tunnel out so far is the main thing for Retribution. And one thing's for sure is Winter can absolutely not sit on this hook, otherwise those last 2 gens will pop most likely. So we most likely will be seeing Winter extending out, trying to find the reset, and does. So Washed may not be getting healed, but actually Winter not committing over there, despite seeing those 2 survivors. And instead we'll just kind of hold this cross, look for that elusive leave it as Bill that we don't see just yet, while pressuring that hill and trying to block any unhook attempts. Do get the reset off over in that corner finally, but that was a decent amount of hook time had gone down with 2 survivors not working away at generators. So maybe actually in this scenario Winter may be able to afford to force out the death. There will just be a trade coming through the Dwight. And now once again, a tunnel out chase is on, 2 people supporting it. FTP going through, that's just going to get removed instantly. But it's a little bit of time as well. Now, It will be going down straight away. Unfortunate for Sim. Being tagged by that extra chain. And that is really unfortunate for Retribution. They went for the greedy play and it has not paid off at all. As now that will be a 3v1. With the first person on hook in the 3v1 already most likely. With still 2 gens remaining. I mean, it looked like they had set themselves up nicely, but now it's a little more of a worrying situation for them to be in. Especially as we do see Washed there, trying to get some pressure onto that gen. But being forced off it completely is one thing for sure is important, is how much pressure is on those other 3 generators we have not checked. Because if there's nothing on them really, it's going to be a tough task. Cenobite going down to the 3v1 makes things infinitely more impossible as Bill gets caught behind Auric and instantly going down. Chase not even starting before it ends. So another quick down for Winter. As Squirrely is still being hassled to get that box done over in the corner. As this gen is being worked away. And now actually Squirrely in chase right near the hook and pressure is certainly on as Washed is going to need to get over to the save, but Winter is kind of in the way there a little bit and Squirrely is certainly going to have to survive for a little while. But we do get the unhook from Bill. It's just about getting the tag through the pallet. Squirrely trying to play risky and get the stun, but it did not pay off. But at least they did manage to get Bill off the hook. That's the main thing that does matter, because if Squirrely goes down there and Wash hasn't got the unhook, then that could have been game over. So still surviving right now. But actually, Wash getting caught trying to get the unhook, was trying to stealth and get it completely for free. Winterlow, eyes like a hawk. Well, particularly need eyes like a hawk with a coat that bright, but still finding him nonetheless, and has eyes onto Bill now, so information onto both survivors, and can pretty much just sit back here and most likely won't be able to make any significant pressure. May be able to get that gen in the corner if Winter gets a little bit of lapse, and does. And actually Washed is going to take advantage of that little rotate. It's going to try and get the unhook. It's going to be for a tag, but it's not a trade, so that is very ideal. It's now making his way over to the car. There's absolutely nothing he could do in that scenario. Map is looking pretty dry at this point. And Winter sees an opportunity for a snowball and is absolutely going for it. Obviously Squirrely still in the area after that unhook. Does have this pallet to play and gets the stun, so that's going to be some decent time to get away to Winter. Not seeming to care at all, but missing the chain and Winter getting blinded. So Squirrely doing a good job, but actually has been caught out a little bit there and I think will be going down. Is getting picked up over in the background. I mean, Retribution, they're holding on. There's a lot of pressure on them, and there has been for a while. But they're getting slow amounts of gem pressure. Now, going into the 2v1, it's going to be pretty tough to get this last generator completed. Not sure if they have any pressure on either of them, which obviously would help a lot if they did. But yeah, now, especially with chain hunters, that is going to cause a very heavy nuisance to them. Because obviously that means one of them is either not doing a gen or has the box in chase. No scenario is ideal there. As it seems like Winter is just going to sit back, search for the injured survivor, and hope to end it quickly. Not taking the risk going for the chase onto Washed, as obviously healthy survivor may take a bit longer to down, doesn't want to risk it taking long enough for Bill to get that final gem. But actually now will be teleporting over to the other side onto Washed, and then this chase will ensue, and a nice early chain onto it, but doesn't get the right side of the pallet, so no hit. And now this chase is crucial. If Wash can keep it going long enough, it may provide the time for Bill to get this final gem. Just about getting hit there, ping not on Wash's side, unfortunately. Was a very close call, and now I think might be going fully down, and that chase will most likely not be long enough for the last gen to pop. as lasted roughly 20-30 seconds max. So yeah, it does seem like Bill will just be wandering off into the distance, trying to hide, trying to scrounge out whatever points they can get at the end of this game. It will most likely, unless we see some insane plays from Bill, a 4K at 1 gen, and at most a hatch escape with 1 gen remaining. I mean, Winter is really at the area where we saw Bill, and does hear him crying very, very loudly over the rock, so that will end the game as Bill gets flattened out. And Night Owls starting off the season, starting off their campaign for glory with a very nice start, 4K1 result. Cenobite is definitely a set that can vary in results. Would most likely be expected around 8-6 stages roughly. But can be pretty difficult because it takes a lot of organisation at times, so results like this aren't too uncommon. And now it will be up to Retribution to try get a similar result, maybe better. But that is all on their killer, and it's definitely going to be a tougher task for them than it will be for Night Owls to get all gens completed. But we will see how they do in this second game of the first set very, very shortly. Stay tuned. Alrighty, we are back, and before any of you begin to get deja vu, we are once again watching Winter onto the Cenobite, repping out 4 Night Owls. In that last trial, there was an incorrect perk bought, but however, due to an error on our end, a balancing error, it has resulted in a no-fault restart. So, a game, but will it be the same exact outcome, as this is now the official start of Auric League Season 3. Again, now on the Cenobite, and can he perform as well as he did in the last game? Obviously, there's a bit of mind games in play because usually going into a game you don't have experience against the player you played against, or unless it's a team you play consistently, but usually you don't have prior experience. So now with that in mind, I wonder if we'll see any tactic changes. Very similar to the first game, it's an early hit. Skraley this time, the receiver of it, and that is a nice chain there as well, and I think it might result into another very early down, maybe even faster than that earlier game. So we will be seeing an early hook as the survivors rotate away. It looked like they may have been stacking. I didn't quite see if there was 2 of them on it. For that amount of pressure, they've been stacking that generator. And that means there's going to be a decent amount of pressure lost. So gen-wise, I can't imagine it's looking too appealing right now for Retribution. Clearly haven't made too many changes to the game plan, otherwise might have been in a better situation. But obviously still a long way to go in this game, as Winter once again seems to just be extending slightly out of hook, trying to slow down these generators, while staying within range of hook, trying to make sure second stage goes through as well. Obviously it is a risky playstyle because, especially in this position, as doesn't actually have direct eyesight onto the hook, has not been punished for it seemingly, no survivor, taking the opportunity to go get that free on hook, and are just sat back cranking generators, and their pressure is looking actually a lot better than you might imagine. I feel like people underestimate a lot the amount of time is wasted just sat on hook just to get to that second stage. Some really strong pressure can be built up if that first hook is camped, especially with 3 survivors working away in the background. And going to intercept the box there, that would have been a huge chain. They got it off. Obviously chain hunt starting, but no, not to be. Is now just a quick tag onto Sim, I think that was, as the second gen is getting popped over on that top side. It does seem like they're trying to pressure this unhook. Hopefully there's someone else in the area. If they are, obviously we saw Washed kind of just floating around there. At minimum it scared Winter into sitting directly on this hook, so it's not going to be able to sit out and stop that gen from popping. And Washed is just going to completely take up Winter's attention here, sitting on the shack. Wonder if they're going to go in for a trade or a double save. It is going to be a double save. And Winter with some nice body blocking, but the slight move means they will be able to get it off. A very clean double save. 2 tags for it, as now Skraley going straight to that shack, going to be looking to extend this chase. But as long as possible, obviously dead on hook. 3v1 against Ceno, very difficult scenario to be in, so going to be looking for enough pressure, be able to get through that relatively easily. But Skraley making it over to the edge of the map here. Now we'll be playing 50-50s. Did vault. I don't know if it's going to be enough, and it won't be enough, going down over the pallet. So be seeing the death of Skraley. But it was not a bad chase at all, so we're at least going to be seeing 1 gen pop for that, most likely. Yeah, no pain res in play for Skraley. That was used on the first hook. So yeah, going into the 2v1. I mean, I thought it would be a 1 gen left, but no, actually. Winter getting over there, straight to that gen and preventing it from popping. That could be very, very useful going into this game. As now Sim forced to chase right by it as one of the other 2. They can't stack the gen, which is the most likely scenario in that, if they did get that gen done. So now obviously Washed has rotated to finish that one off, as Sim actually does a really good job in this chase. Made some good distance away. Will just be running back and instead diverting the attention over to Washed. A nice chain connection, and I don't think Washed is going to make anything here, so will be a tag coming through. But I don't know, this is starting to extend a little bit. It's been quite a while without seeing Bill. Would not be surprised to see some decent gen pressure built up on this final gen. But still, Winter just not seeming to care at all. And will be committing for Washed. Obviously, that's a very strong pallet. Nice one to get down out and quickly. But seemingly, he's just completely littered in them. And Washed using them well. Does go down finally. But then, oh, it's been quite a while. And yeah, we do see that final gen getting popped as Washed will be going onto the hook. And now, it looks like Winter will just be camping out for the 2k6. A very, very different result from what we saw in that last game, but maybe not actually. Oh no, Winter has somehow made it across the map. I don't know if that was a spectator glitch or what, but seemingly TPing to the other side of the map and does get the down onto Sim. So more work to do for Retribution. And Winter getting very, very greedy. Slows down Wash there and is looking for Bill. Wanting to maximize those stages, of course. But to do that is going to need a quick chase here. And with the boss in play, it's going to be a tough task and does get the pallet down. Good job there by Bill. Picked up, so they will be moving towards the gate and that will be getting open pretty soon. And now pressure is on Winter because really needs this down. If Bill manages to make it all the way over to the other side and get out, it's going to be a very, very unfortunate result for him. And isn't able to make use of that chain too much. Will get the tag, but seemingly Bill is just straight running for it. Obviously both survivors are injured, so no hit tanks coming through. Can Winter hit the chain? Yes, he can. Will that be enough to get the down? They're trying to break the chains, but I think Wash will be going down. I might be close enough for a hill take. They're going to go for it. Winter trying to interrupt it. Will he get a pick? I don't know if he will. Will actually get the pick. Onto Sim. A crazy ending at the exit gate. But Winter just about getting rewarded for it by centimeters. So it will be a 2k6. I mean, certainly had to work for it. After that first game resulting in a 4k1, I don't think Winter's gonna be the most happy man on the planet right now. But it's certainly a result that could go either way moving into the second set. So, should be fun to see. Obviously Retribution Killer will need 7 stages to get it done. And can they get it done? That is the question that will be answered very soon. And we are back for the second game of this matchup between Retribution and Night Owls. Retribution Killer needs a 7-stage result to get the win, but Night Owls, they're a very, very strong team, will be looking to prevent that. And it is Naza coming out to get the job done. An early find on the box for Rats as well is certainly going to be helpful. Obviously, fast down for Cena, but it can completely change the game, especially with Chain Hunt. So getting that out of the way can always be helpful. But actually, it's very risky because if Naza finds Rats and intercepts that box, not going to be a fun time to deal with that. But a very nice vault there over that pallet by Freeze, and I believe that was Life as well coming through. So he's able to keep the chase going, completely unbothered by those chains, as this chase will continue, and connecting these two towers very nicely and getting the stun. So it's been a good start for Night Owl so far, especially if Freeze can keep this going. Will tank that chain and kind of gets caught a little bit by the double back. I think this may be the first tag coming through, and it will be. But still, it took quite a while for that to happen. And obviously Night Owls with a pretty tough win con. It's going to be the start we want to see. We did see someone coming over there towards the bus as well, a healthy survivor to support the chase. Even though Naza does not care about it at all, I feel like that's going to be a recurring theme in this match because of the tough win con. Going to need some long chases, potential pallet saves, maybe a flashlight save here and there, just to try prevent those stages as much as possible. As now Naza back onto Freeze, picking it right where it left off over at the bus, and we'll get that chain connection. But a very nice body block coming through from Yatos, completely connecting to Freeze, not allowing Naza to get anywhere near. As there, the first gen goes away in the background. Yatos would just about make it over that window. I mean, that chain scratched his back surely. And again, Naza getting these chains consistently, but Night Owl survivors clearly just know what to do when hit by them. But Yatos kind of doubling back there, getting a little bit lost, maybe not too sure where Naza was. That will be the first down of the game, with 2 gens already completed. So certainly a good start from Night Owls. Naza will be looking to pick up the pace going into this game now. Be interested to see a camp. It may be a little bit too late for that with the extended early game, and it doesn't seem like Naza will be. Especially because it was a very nice chase location, as there was no generators at all being worked nearby that area, and I don't think there's even an empty generator in that area, so completely away from everything Naza cares about really. There is that one on the bus, but still one generator, not too much to worry about. Unhook coming through, and by the looks of it, Naza is not going to be going for the tunnel out actually. He's going to be going for that fresh hook onto Rats. And we'll see if that's a smart decision. Obviously chase will most likely be longer due to, well, Rats not being injured of course. And yeah, Naza realising that with that pretty nasty setup around the bus, that chase maybe not worth their while. And now does find 2 people roaming around this corner, and does just about somehow getting that chain, thread the needle through those and the tree there. And this chase will ensue onto Yatos, and actually a body block coming through. Oz is going to try to get around it, but will the body block be good enough? It's doing very well actually so far, and Rats is going to be able to make the window I think. So an amazing job there by the Kate just to get over and to keep Yatos up. Obviously Yatos is the tunnel out, most important survivor right now on the map. Keeping him alive is a absolute must. As Naza now will be running off once again onto Freeze. Has had some good chases so far. Little bit of a dead zone, only has this truck to deal with. Can they replicate those past chases? That is the question. And seemingly so, but actually getting hit through the pallet. Those chains causing a little bit of nonsense over there. But another gen popping off in the background with only one stage down and actually two gens popping in the background. This Freeze will continue the chase and doesn't get tagged over the pallet. Some very good ping clearly, as I know if there was some dodgy region stuff going on there, that would have definitely hit. There we go, Freeze does go down eventually. I don't know, it's looking difficult for NASA. Night Owl survivors in chase, their supports have been doing a really good job. That one body block especially from Liv, just really helping to extend these chases out. And NASA finding themselves in a very, very tough situation. Obviously we do see in that bottom right hand corner we have an extra weapon in play if things go badly. Hex Noed. So could see that coming clutch potentially for NASA. Is now taking chase onto Rats. Another fresh healthy survivor, but may not be healthy for too much longer, but Sprint Burst saving the day. And now we'll be able just to make it to this trash can pallet. I thought it was green that for a second there. Would have been an insanely bold play. But no, and will be getting tagged over. Obviously chains not allowing that fast vault. So not much they can do in that situation. It was a very nice chain tag. And now another chain tag. And we'll actually be able to make it to the pallet. It was a very nice support there by Yatas. I'm pretty sure he just ran through and break all those chains in one go. And once again doing the same thing. So we're seeing it. Some very good support plays from these Night Owl survivors. And Yatas still healthy, so it's still going to be a massive problem for NASA to get past if they want to get Rats down. Trying to cause a little bit of confusion on the hill. Obviously Rats just able to make it all the way over this corner pallet. And now the question is, can Rats make it to the bus? Only connection nearby. And that chain just getting completely nullified by the rook. And the swing getting nullified by the corner of the bus. Is very sad to see. But just nothing going in NASA's favour. As we are in the end game now. And NASA needs 4 stages. So even with Rats dying, we'll need someone else to die, or at least take a stage. It looks like Rats will be going down finally. NASA needs more. Can they get more? That is the question. Oh, that's not ideal at all. An almost instant NOED cleanse. So that is definitely going to make things a lot harder. As all 3 survivors that are up right now are completely healthy. So we'll need to go through a full chase while somehow keeping Rats on the floor and die. I'm honestly not too sure the best way to go about this, and that gate does get opened over across the map, and that will be 3 survivors escaping cleanly and a 5-stage result from NASA. Bored it close, but the Night Owl survivors just did so well. Their chases were very strong. Supporting them as well was very nice. And after probably a performance win I won't be too happy with, I was able to bring it back and win that first set. Now going into the second one, this is Retribution's territory. It is their pick. Will they be able to bring it back and force a tiebreaker? We shall see. Alrighty, we are back for the second set of this matchup between Retribution and Night Owls. In that first one, there was two very strong survivor performances, a 2k6 for Night Owls' killer and a 1k5 for Retribution's killer. So Night Owls just about getting that set win, and now coming out looking to get a clean sweep and win this artist set as well. And it is Bill coming out to try get that done for them and force the tiebreaker. It does catch a bird there, but instantly getting removed by Rats. Obviously this is Retribution's set, as Bill is playing killer first for them. So maybe we see a little bit of a swing in performance maybe towards Retribution, but obviously I feel like Artist is not too common, but it's one of the more common sets, so interesting to see how experienced Night Owls are on this set. Obviously they've been around for a long time, so you'd expect a decent level as Chase continuing to rest into the bottom middle of the map now, as you'd hope the other three, or at least two, have rotated into the upper side of the map. But actually there is a pretty strong 4, maybe even considered a 5 gen on that bottom side. So I think the survivors have actually most likely stuck down there, as Rats will be taken up towards this corner, which is completely empty and does take the down. One survivor's in the area, it's Sin, but not close enough to get the pallet save, unfortunately. Rats just a meter or two off that. And I believe this should be a first hook before any gen has popped. And now we get to see how much the survivors have noticed that very strong setup on the bottom side of the map. Because hopefully it's just Sin up here, and it is, which is always good to see. So they've noticed it and are trying to get it out of the way as soon as possible, while Rats and Sin take the attention up here. Could be a difficult scenario for Sin, as obviously other two survivors are very far away. But no, actually one of them's rotated. I lied completely. A very fast rotation between top and bottom and top. So Rats getting off the hook, and Bill not caring at all, committing onto the chase for Sin. There's a tag coming through and being forced towards the main building. I'm not sure how many pallets are around this side, but for Sin's sake, hopefully it's a decent amount. Now he's stuck inside the main building. We'll see how Bill's going to play this. It's going to take a pretty tough mind game for Sin to win it, and yeah, we'll just be tanking that down. Not too much they can do in that situation, obviously. Birds, window, door, happy days, job done, getting the down. But we do see a second gen popping in, this time the top side gen. So pressure is still split across either side. It's always nice to see. And Bill trying to predict some movements from whoever popped that gen, but to no avail. Seemingly will just be away from the hook, but still saying at a close enough distance to protect it. Really wants whoever popped this gen, wants to get revenge for that. Has truly been insulted or something, but yeah, still just searching around for them and protecting the hook at the same time. Now we'll be sending birds to that bottom side. Still believe someone's over here, but I mean, maybe. I'm not too sure at this point, but maybe. I don't know if Bill can afford to camp this out to the second stage. That is the only thing. There's 3 survivors on generator, and someone is actually topside. Yatos is stealthing over there and somehow avoided Bill's gaze. We saw 2 survivors on the bottom side cranking away, while Bill is just sat here on hook, not particularly doing too much. Second stage is forced, but I think we will be seeing a second gen popped for that as well. This is going to make things very difficult with a very split gen spread. Now Bill is rotating to the bottom side, and we haven't seen that Shaq gen pop, so maybe not as much pressure I thought as initially had, and no, it will not pop. And we do catch Ratch in the area, who's already injured will just be... will not be going down. Finally going down. Took a little longer than expected. Some interesting plays with the locker. But a flashbang coming through and they get it off. So Rats is able to get out scot-free. That would have been a very rough down onto the generator with high pressure in the basement right there. But now Rats with an opportunity to get away and could put themselves in a much more favourable down spot. Or ideally not get downed at all. That flashbang, an absolutely huge play. I believe it was Winter who came through and got it done. So very, very nice play by Night Owls to keep this stages low and their pressure high. But Bill absolutely doesn't want this gen to pop. And Winter has snuck back onto it, so not too happy with him right now. But can't fully track him down. So he's kind of just forced to leave as pressure is building on these other gens around the map. One popping over there all the way by the main building. And Bill doesn't have too much information on anyone really. And with only 3 stages on the board, it's not looking too great for him at this current moment. I don't know, it's a really difficult spot to be in because obviously this gen's so high pressure in Shack, but can't just sit there and protect it as the other gens that are miles away will just get worked on and popped. So I can't really see anything obvious at least that Bill can do right now other than just try to set himself up as best as possible for the end game, which once again we will be seeing some no one escapes death action coming through. Or Bill's going to hope we're going to see some no-ad action come through. Will it happen? Is not a guarantee. Not too much gain from it in that last game we saw, so maybe Miles continue that kind of form. Maybe not, as Flashbang coming through. It's kind of rubbing salt in the wound of Bill there. And we'll just continue to search for these survivors who remain elusive. No longer remaining elusive. Winter popping out of nowhere to slap that pallet down on Bill's face. And we will finally get a chase going for what's felt like forever. A nice early tag onto it as well. But it doesn't matter because adrenaline's come through. It was a pretty weird decision to leave that, but now we see it just gave some extra distance to Winter. And now Winter will be fighting for a 3-stage result in this chase. If they can keep it going long enough and potentially make it to the exit gate. They'll see someone over there, absolutely not wanting that to be opened. We'll be trying to intercept that. But too much walking around waste time. And pressure is certainly on Bill right now, and that's not going to help. Not too much can be gained for that. Sin not deciding to take the distance and is going to try to play a Z-Wall. We'll see how it goes, especially with the speed boost in play. But actually, was a pretty good connection. I think we will be seeing the down finally, though. Not able to make it all the way around that loop. And Sin will be going down. But the thing is, I am not sure how this new hook stage thing works, but that is just an extra stage onto Sin. A 4-stage result. I mean, it's certainly not ideal for Bill. But we have seen in that last game, Retribution survivors are no pushovers. So the game's certainly not over. But Night Owls, the ball is certainly in their court to get this 2-0 sweep. And we are back for what Night Owls will be hoping is the last game of this matchup. And it will be Lio coming out on the Artist to try get it done. Obviously a very strong Night Owls performance on the Survivor side. A 4-stage result is Lio leading 5 stages overall. And I'm sure we'll be feeling confident to try get that going into this game. But it's not over till it's over. And maybe, just maybe, Retribution can pull off an insane game and bring it back to the tiebreaker. And that is what we will be finding out now, is an early chase onto Hope here. Only as a TNL, it's going to be a difficult job getting out of this without taking a tag. That's some interesting mind games going through. And actually does make it without a tag. I mean, I'm not too sure what happened, but I mean, there's no injury on the board. That's what matters, but there is an injury on the board now. Cry, what they were sneaky hiding behind that tree. The Lio not caught out and taking that free tag all day. Now does kind of have Cry trapped behind this side of the shack. And yeah, Cry, or no, Hope actually it is, coming through, taking the buzz, trying to help them out. We'll take a tag for it. Not too sure what was happening there, it was just kind of running into a wall, but whatever floats their boat, I guess. As now will be rotating, still in the shack and just about making the window again. Twice. Hope scraping their way through the windows. And Chase will continue trying to make it away from the shack, connect to something, but this corner looks so incredibly dry, it's hard to watch. But will actually make it to this rock pallet, so gets the job done and willingly goes down. It's nearby, but it's actually Cry nearby. It's an interesting decision to send the injured survivor for the pallet save. Interesting, maybe that was a bait or something. But yeah, Lio will just get that free pick there. Certainly an interesting decision, but it wasn't the shortest chase ever. It was actually quite a decent job by the survivors to extend that first down out. And as so see that first gen popping in the distance. But Lio getting a tag in the, not a tag, a hook, I mean to say, in the basement. Gonna be a tough task for Retribution to get Hope out of there. And I feel like we may just be seeing Lio sit back onto this hook, send birds, slow the game down, and try to guarantee those 3 stages as soon as possible. But no, actually, I'm very happy to see this because I thought we were in for a boring few minutes. But Lio extending out, and actually extending out because has information on all 3 survivors, so is capable of sitting here and holding the cross. And someone has gone for it. I believe that was Scroily taking the cross. Lio didn't see him instantly, so making it to the bottom side. So it was an attempt to hold them all topside, trap them there, not let them through without any tags, and with a tag. But no, not to be. Still Lio in a very, very strong position. Just able to sit back on this shack, send birds, and get very, very close to the win con with this death. As Hope is just about to go into second stage, as we see. And just continuing to send birds, harassing these survivors. I'm sure they're sick of hearing those sounds by now. They have all split up onto 3 generators, so if Lio does commit to this death, they're going to have some good progress going into the end game. And I don't know, Lio felt very confident going in with the build, you'd assume. No Noed, but we do see Rancor in play. So Cry is going to have to be aware and hidden for certain if we do see that in the end game. Obviously, 1 stage would tie it, 2 for the win. Still, these survivors getting harassed on these generators, slowing down a pretty significant amount. None popping so far, as Hope getting very, very close to death. There we go, 1 finally popping over in the distance. And Lio seems to think they're good to leave Hope and pressure this generator. Is that a risky play? I mean, it is a risky play, but will it be capitalised upon? No, it won't. No survivor prepped and ready to get Hope out of the basement. So Cry getting tagged here. And Cry is the obsession. So Lio very may well just commit to this chase, let it go in game, take the Mori. And that's game over, but now wants a better result than that and sees Squirrely in the area, so will take advantage of that, but Squirrely getting away quite nicely, so good job there avoiding a tag. As you'd imagine, Sim is somewhere on this bottom side, cranking away on a generator again as close to possible as popping. And has been working on the shack generator, it seems like. No sight, well, definitely sight now of him. Is rushing off towards that top side. Tag free. And Lokeman and Squirrely popping out of nowhere there. Not getting punished for it yet, but taking a chase into this top mid area, right next to the generator, will ideally be looking to take this deep into that top corner. Will Lyle follow is certainly a question. So far seems like they will, so Squirrely can do a good job up here, can buy some valuable time for the survivors. It looks like they're going for another pallet play. This time, will they be able to get it off? Hopefully. Sim in the area. But no, again it's Cry. I mean, I assume there is sprint. Yeah, Cry is the one with sprint burst, so that is why Cry is set up to go for it, because obviously sprint burst can just get right over there. But now will be going down. That is 2 slugs right on this pallet. I don't know, I just feel like going for those pallet plays with an injured survivor is just way too risky. And obviously it's just so noisy, leaves blood everywhere. It's not the hardest thing to find a survivor and you know they're nearby like that. And that is why we're in the situation we are in. And actually Lio can just take the win right here, right now, as hooking Cry would be the 5th stage. Not too many hooks nearby. I think should be able to make to this top mid one, but it's going to be kind of close. And does get the hook through. So Lio, maybe a little bit closer and more tense than expected, but gets the job done nonetheless. Night Owls will be taking this game 2-0. Still points to play for, tiebreaker conditions. Obviously groups of 4. It's very likely that a team will draw on the amount of wins at the end of the group stage, so tiebreaker conditions very key. That's what the teams are fighting for right now. Still worth playing out as they go for a flashlight save and hit it. So fair play to them. All 3 survivors are injured, but they're up. And now, so hopefully this will buy some good time for Cry and Squirrely to crank away those last couple generators. Maybe get them done if Sim does a good enough job, but seemingly will just be going to the corner. Not deciding to play the pallet could make you believe, or could lead you to think that they've got 2 generators close to popping, but maybe not. Doesn't seem like it. As we do get another bird tag onto whoever this is on top mid. And this top mid gen is so close to popping. I think that bird might have even stopped it from popping. A very, very clutch hit. One is getting popped over there in the corner. But now, because Squirrely's ran straight over there, has information on both survivors and went for a wild predictory onto Cry. Unfortunately not hitting, that would have been something. But now has both survivors trapped on this bottom side, so Sim is not an ideal situation, but actually Survivor has snuck through and popped that generator. Is Squirrely under Lyle's nose has managed to get that gen done. So we're in the end game, Squirrely taking the down for it. And we know Cry is most likely stuck somewhere on this bottom side. And I don't think it's enough time to have got any progress really on that gate. So it's certainly a sticky situation for Cry. But now with Squirrely being picked up, put on the hook, there's a little bit of time for Cry, but hook's right there next to it. So has actually spent too much time doing that? But doesn't seem to care. So I think we'll just be letting Cry out of that gate on the bottom and securing what will be a 10 stage result. A very, very strong performance Cry's still not out, so could be more potentially. Not sure what Cry's doing right now, but hasn't escaped, that's the main thing. And I don't think it's even... No, hasn't got a single bit of progress onto the exit gate, so maybe we will be seeing more than a 10-stage result. Seemingly Lio does not care, isn't searching for Cry at all, letting Scroily die on hook and just making sure there's no hatch escape. But again, Cry not going for the gate. I mean, certainly an interesting play, but I don't know. Maybe hoping Lio will shut the hatch, rush off to the top side, assuming that's where Cry is, and go for the gate. And we'll see if that works, but with the crows in play, he's going to have to do a couple dodges to make it go through. No sight of the eyes, but no way out, Prox. I completely forgot that was in play. So yeah, even with Cry's complete stealth and potential game plan, it does not matter. No way out, completely shutting that idea. And now the 4K is inevitable. 4K at 0 gens. Night Owls ending it with a Mori, ending it in style. A 2-0 victory over Retribution. Perfect start their Auric League campaign, and Retribution will be looking to bring it back in the next few games, but it was a very fun one, and we will see you tomorrow for some more Auric League games. Stay tuned for those.